This is the code for lesson 2 for our robot cars, and lesson 2 is all about programming this car so that it works with a remote control. So we're going to go over some parts of this. We're not going to go over all of it, but I hope it will kind of give you enough knowledge that you can play with and change this code. So the first part of it is just talking about some pins on the motor driver that controls the motors and how those are connected to some pins on our sensor shield. So for example, ion 1 is a pin on the motor driver. It's connected to pin 7 on the sensor shield. So for example, it said that ion 1 on the motor driver was going to be connected to pin 7 on the sensor shield. So you can see ion 1 here. It's got a yellow wire in it, okay? And then if we follow that yellow wire, we can indeed see that it is connected to pin 7 on the sensor shield right here. Similarly, these two pins are connected, and these ones, and these ones, and these ones, and these ones, okay? IR pin 4 is not on the motor driver. IR stands for infrared, and that's how our remote control works. So this is saying that that remote control sensor is connected to pin 4 on the Arduino sensor shield. And then this stuff here is about the information that, again, this infrared information that it's going to receive from the remote control. This is a message that it's going to get from the remote control, and this is helping your Arduino board know what that means. Cool. This is kind of defining some obvious terms for your board. This stuff here is talking about, okay, when your board gets the command to go back, what does that mean for each of the motors? So this is allowing it to get that command to go back and know what to do with all of the motors, okay? So that one's about going backwards. This one's about going ahead or forwards. What's it going to do with the motors to achieve that? This is how it's going to stop. This is telling the motors how to turn left. This is telling the motors how to turn right. Pretty simple. This part here is how fast the motors are going to go. 255 is as fast as they can go. So I know that you want your car to go fast, but don't set this over 255 because it cannot do it. Okay. This is kind of defining some stuff for your Arduino board that's like, yep, go, IR left means go left, pretty simple. This is kind of the fun part. This is about how you're going to kind of control your car, what happens when you control your car. So this is saying when we press that forward button, what's going to happen. Both of those motors are going to go forward as fast as they can. 255. Got some other variables here. The one that I think is kind of fun to play with is the jog time. Because you may have noticed that when you press go forward, it doesn't go forward for very long, and then it stops. And so that was kind of annoying to me. I was like, I wish that when I press go forward, it would go forward for longer without stopping. If you change that jog time to a higher number, you can make it go forward for a longer time without stopping. Similarly with left and right, if you change that jog time, you could make it go left for a longer time or for a shorter time. And then same thing here, you could make it go right for a longer time or a shorter time. You can also manipulate the go backward. I didn't do a lot with that because I didn't use the go backward very much, but you are welcome to try it. Let's see, this I don't think you really need to worry about. And then this is kind of, let's see, this is kind of saying for output, it's like the Arduino is sending output to these pins that control the motors. So it's like sending information out to them so they can do something with them for the motors. And then it's saying that input is going to be the infrared pin because that is the infrared that's coming from the remote. So it's getting information coming in from the remote and sending information out to the motors. And then this is kind of telling it, we had IR tick, which I think was just defining some variables. We'll see if we can find IR tick. Yeah, okay, this is kind of just like defining some obvious stuff for your Arduino. So it's like when this thing starts, do this, know these variables. And then it says, then do drive tick, which is this stuff that we have set up. So this is like when we press go, know that the variables are what they've been set to, and then do this stuff.